Okay, so let's start seated since we're already here. And we'll start with this little meditation. So you can leave the eyes open to start and just find a soft gaze on the floor in front of you, like looking slightly down. Letting the breath be awakened. And letting the eyes glaze over, finding that stillness in the eyes, and then allowing them to close when they feel ready. Relax the forehead and the jaw. Feel some broadness across your collarbones and chest. Let your seat be rooted down. Put some length in your lower back. And let the crown of your head be lifted. Now start to notice the sensations of your hands against your legs. Maybe feeling the gentle pulse. And then you can bring your fingers to feel your pulse on one of your wrists. You know how to do that, or anywhere, just so that you feel the rhythm of your circulatory system. Let your breath flow steadily. And notice the rhythm of your pulsing and how it shifts when you start to breathe a bit deeper, a bit slower. And this might take some practice to do, so this is an exercise you guys can do every day if you want. But what we're going to do is notice your pulsing and how it is just now without really trying to change it too much. And then we'll welcome in the feelings of deep gratitude. So think of a time or any phrase or anything that reminds you of how truly lucky we are to be in these bodies, to be on this earth, to be in the home that you're in, to have the family you have, all the love that's around you. And then notice if that changes your pulse at all. So moving into this newer time where the energies are going to be a lot more obvious to us, and a bit louder as the years go on. We want to learn to speak the language of our heart, and that's through the circulatory system. So when we're feeling anxious, you can feel your pulse. Notice how your heart's affected. And bringing in those feelings of gratitude and just reminding yourself of reality. So just a little thing to think about. Okay. And you can release feeling your pulse if you're ready to. And, oh my gosh. Sorry. Bagel knocked it down. And you can just start to breathe deeper into your belly. Let the breath travel from your lower belly all the way to your head. Bagel is out to kill you. And then let's just start with some movement. So you can start to roll your neck, going in one direction. And you can do this in two different ways, or maybe another way if you think of another one. But you can focus on the ears, bringing your ears to your shoulder, and then back around an ear to the other shoulder. Or you can focus more on your chin and drawing big circles with your chin. And like I said, if you think of another way that feels better in your head, then you can do that. And then switch directions if you haven't already. You can also bring your chin over each shoulder. This can feel really nice down the front side of your neck. And now let's bring some movement into the torso as well. So you can start to take some circles from the hips. Just doing your best to leave your sit bones grounded where they are and let this movement come from the pelvis and the spine. And you can focus on cat-cowing your chest if you like, bringing the heart forward when you come forward, bringing the heart back when you come back. Always permission to close the eyes and just let your body move however it wants to. You can switch directions if you haven't. And there's a few more breaths, moving how you like. Then when you are ready to do so, you can plant your hands in front of the shins, roll over your ankles, and come into our tabletop position. We'll work on stretching out the wrists before we move into our cat-cows. So when you arrive, just check in with your alignment. Shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, and the toes are in line with the knees, hidden behind the thighs. Fingers spread really wide, rooting into the ground. And now let's bring our fingers to face each other. The palms are still on the ground. And you can just rock slowly, gently from side to side, keeping your shoulders over the wrists. And just making sure to keep the heels of both hands on the floor so that you get that full stretch from the heel of the hand up the arm. Great. And then you can dial your palms away from each other and bring them so that the fingertips are facing your knees and the palms are still on the floor. Yeah. And now we'll do the same thing, but rocking forward and back, kind of like a sawing position. And again, if you start to shift back and your heels start to come up, then don't shift back that much. It might be a really small movement. You just want to make sure to keep everything about your hands on the floor. So you get the full stretch. And of course, keeping this linked with your breath. And now we'll stretch the opposite way so you can keep the fingers facing toward your knees. Just turn onto the backs of the hands so the palms are facing you. And we'll do the same thing. And go forward and back. And this time you're making sure to keep your wrist on the floor. Get the full stretch up the forearm. When you're ready, when you're feeling good in the wrists, you might want to shake them out for a moment and then come back to your neutral tabletop. And then let's just shift the hips side to side. So you can let the hips fall down to the right, come back to center, fall down to the left. And just get waking up the hips a little bit. All right, and now you can freestyle. You can do your cat-cows. You can take some circles at the spine, the child's pose. Just let your body move, let your body dance with your breath. Moving how you want to move. Not thinking much about it at all. Just letting it happen. And notice what is asking for more attention this morning. Every day, our body's going to feel a little bit different, each body part. So notice what is speaking the loudest to you this morning. then, whenever you're ready, you can come back to your neutral tabletop and we'll stretch out the shoulders coming into our puppy pose. Whenever you're ready. Letting the heart melt toward the floor, keeping those hips over the knees, perfect alignment. Great. Feeling any pops or cracks that happen, letting your heart surrender. Letting the shoulder blades be actively reaching toward each other with your exhales. Letting the energy reach up through the space in between your sit bones, feeling that feeling of an arch forming in your lower back. Awesome. 3 more breaths here. And now we will use our core to roll ourselves through to a sphinx pose. So you can pull the navel up to the spine and start to see your body waving forward so that your pubic bone and your hips come to the floor. So letting the heart lift here, just activating your sphinx pose for a few moments. Pulling your heart through the arms. And then see if you can slowly lift yourself back into your puppy pose, just the way that you came. So imagine a string at your tailbone. Use your core to pull the navel up to the spine. Bring your heart back to the floor. Perfect. This is a nice shoulder workout too. So let's do this 3 times. And I encourage you to move a little bit slower than usual if you want a bit more of a workout. And really feel the strength in your shoulders, feel the strength in your core, so that every movement here is intentional. And let your breath guide the movement. So as you inhale, you're coming forward, and as you exhale, you're coming back. And then we'll land in our puppy pose. So the next time you're in the puppy pose, stay here. Take 1 more breath. And now use your core to pull the navel up to the spine and walk your hands back underneath the shoulders into your table. Great. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips back and up, downward facing dog. So make sure the fingers are spreading really wide. You're feeling the skin in between each finger stretching. You're really active, rooting down in the base of your thumb, pointer, and pinky, a little extra, as well as the tips of every finger. So you feel a suction-like grip against the floor. Let your armpits feel like they're facing toward each other, and feel equal broadness across the collarbones and the shoulder blades. And let your heart reach toward your thighs. Tuck the navel up toward the lower spine slightly so you feel more length in your lower back. And again, let the energy reach up through the space in between the bones. Maybe you bend your knees generously and come up onto the tippy toes and lift your hips a little bit higher. Yeah, that's it. And then allowing the legs to slowly straighten or walking out your dog or finding movements. And letting out big exhales. And then when you're ready, let's find stillness for 5 breaths. Let the weight be evenly distributed between the 4 points touching the floor. And fire up your legs as well. Let your legs help you stay here. The legs are so powerful. They can be really strong when they're active. 1 more exhale. And then as you inhale, we'll bend the knees, look up toward the top of your mat, and start to walk your feet up to meet your hands. Halfway lift when you inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Release fully. Allow the head to dangle, yes and no. Maybe sigh it out, communicating to the body to release. Shifting the weight on your feet, forward, back, side to side. Finding that neutral space. And then ever so slightly, the weight comes a little bit more to the balls of the feet. Lift the sit bones a little higher. Exhale, release a little deeper. One more breath. And as you inhale, start to sink your hips down and lift your arms up to your chair pose. Really feel a tuck in the tailbone. Perfect. Yeah, you should be able to see your toes, your inner thighs are squeezing in toward each other. Your pelvic floor is active, so feel your pubic bone coming up toward both of your hip points. Perfect. Bring your biceps up alongside the ears a little bit more. One more breath. And then as you exhale, you can straighten the legs to mountain pose. Release the arms. And settle for just a moment. Check in. And then as you inhale, you can raise the arms up and sink the hips down, chair pose. Feel the strength in your legs. Activate the legs. Exhale, straighten the legs and dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine will be your 3 breaths. Feel the heart come forward. Feel the neck long. Feel the lower belly active. Energy reaching from the tailbone through the crown of the head, tabletop of the spine. And now exhale, release. Plant your hands down, step back to a plank position, and hold here 3 breaths. Let your heels reach back. Let the crown of your head reach forward. Push the ground away as you lift the back of your heart, but also broaden the collarbones. One more breath. If you'd like to, you can lower your knees to the floor. We're coming to your full chaturanga to lower to your belly. So the elbows stay really pulled in toward the ribs and releasing to the ground. Inhale, lift your heart, baby cobra. Exhale and release. Plant your hands under shoulders. You can tuck the toes under. Maybe come up right back through your plank, or maybe through a tabletop. And then lift your hips down up. Perfect. Awesome. 2 breaths. Bend the knees, look forward, and step up. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale and fold. Inhale to chair pose. Hips come down, arms come up. Exhale to mountain pose. Arms come by your side. 1 breath. Inhale to your chair pose. Hips sink down, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Side fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale and release. Hands come down, feet step back, plank position. You can move through your version of a vinyasa. If you want to come chaturanga, landing halfway into an up dog, you may do that. Or come to the floor, baby cobra. Whatever your body wants today. On your next inhale, raise your right leg back and up. Keep this leg really strong and imagine the line from your hands through the spine, through your right leg. Your right leg is just an extension of the spine. Turn your right inner thigh to face up toward the ceiling. So it's kind of like a slight twist, and that just encourages the evenness of your hips. Perfect. And then using your core, pull your knee in toward your chest, shift your shoulders over the wrists, and place the right foot at the top of your mat. Maybe using your hand to get it there. And then you'll keep your back heel lifted, and we'll rise up when you're steady to a high lunge. Your back leg is going to be very important here. So keep the heel reaching as if it were to stamp on the wall behind you, and keep the back of your back knee lifting up toward the ceiling. Inner thighs are magnetically drawn toward each other. Your front foot is firm and steady on the mat. Feeling that knee come over the ankle a bit more. Perfect. Breathing. And then as you inhale, straighten out your front leg. Keep your back leg exactly the same. And then as you exhale, bend the front leg. Come back. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Once more, inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Inhale here. And exhale, the hands can come down. Frame your front foot. Step back to a plank. Move through your vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. Once you arrive, inhale, lift your left leg back and up. Reach through that heel. Again, maybe feeling like your inner left thigh is turning to face up toward the ceiling a bit more. You're not actually getting there, but feeling that so that the hips stay square to the mat. Really keeping that left leg actively reaching up. And now use your core, cat spine. Pull your knee in toward the chest. Shift your shoulders over wrists. Place the foot at the top of your mat, maybe using your left hand to get it there. When you feel steady, rise up to your high lunge. Just get your alignment right here first. The arms can be wherever they're comfortable too. And yeah, that back heel's reaching back. Back of your back knee is reaching up for the ceiling. And then as you inhale, you can slowly straighten out your front leg. As you exhale, re-bend it. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Everything about your back leg staying strong. It's your constant in this. Great. And then the next time you're in your lunge, you can hold for one breath in. And then you can exhale, frame your front foot, step back to plank, move through a vinyasa, we'll meet down dog. Again, vinyasas are always optional. It just intensifies the practice a little bit more. Once you arrive in down dog, bend the knees, look up and step up. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, hips sink down, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, release to standing mountain pose. Pause here. Feel your breath and your heartbeat. Feel the sweat. Let your breath catch back up. We'll move through another similar flow on either side, focusing more on our back leg. So when you're ready, you can inhale, chair pose. Hips sink down, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Plant your hands down, step back, plank. Move through a vinyasa, we'll meet in down dog. Great. When you're ready, inhale, right leg reaches back and up. And then you exhale to point the toes, stack the hips, bend the knee. Really open up your hips toward the right. Maybe take some movements with that ankle or knee, whatever feels good. Maybe looking under the right armpit for just a moment, and then squaring the shoulders back to the mat so that you feel the full twist in the torso. When you're ready, even out the hips as you inhale, reach the leg long. Exhale, the knee pulls into the chest, step the foot to the top of your mat. Find your balance here. When you're ready, inhale, rise up, high lunge. So this time, we will tap down our back knee. So again, the arms can be wherever they're comfortable, the hips or the reaching up. And then as you inhale, slowly bend your back knee so that it taps the floor. And then as you exhale, straighten the back leg, reach the back of the knee up. Do this about 5 times. Feeling the legs shake, feeling how strong you are, feeling the pelvic floor as your base. Keeping that steady is really going to help everything you do. Once you're done with your 5 rounds, you can release the back knee to the floor. We'll untuck the back toes and be in your low lunge for a moment. Let the hips sink forward and down. Feel this in your hips. Awesome. Feel this in the left hip flexor. Stretch that out. Just did some work there. And then bring your hands to heart center and we'll twist to the right. So you can hook your left elbow on the outside of the right knee and keep trying to bring your hands closer to the center of your chest. Maybe not getting there completely. Maybe looking back over the right shoulder and just making sure that this knee stays over the ankle. Great. Come back to center, release the hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back plank. Move through a vinyasa, we'll meet in down dog. Let it go. When you're ready, we will even out. As you inhale, raise your left leg back and up. And exhale to point the toes, stack the hips, bend the knee, open up to the left. Do any movements that you did on the other side. And then when you're ready, you can even out the hips, reach the leg long, inhale. Exhale, knee pulls into chest, step the foot to the top of your mat. Find your balance, and then rise up, high lunge. Feel how strong your legs are. They've done so much already. When you're ready, you can take those 5 taps with your back knee. Noticing how it feels on this side. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's more difficult. It's keeping everything about your root and your pelvic region strong and supporting. And then once you're done with your 5 rounds, you can allow the back knee to come down. You can untuck those toes and just sink into your low lunge, feeling this nice stretch in the right hip flexor. And when you're ready, hands come to heart center, and we'll twist to the left. Right knee comes outside, right elbow comes outside the left knee. Hands keep coming toward the center of your chest, maybe looking over the left shoulder. Remembering about your back leg too. You can keep the top of your back foot pressing into the mat. Great. When you're ready, you can release to center, plant the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, and step back to a plank. Move through a vinyasa, we'll meet in down dog. You can let out a few lion's breaths here. So as you take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, you stick your tongue out and look up toward your forehead. So you really feel your eyeballs and your tongue reaching in opposite directions, stretching out the face. And then releasing that. Coming back to Ujjayi breath. Bend the knees, look up, and step up. Halfway lifting. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll come up to standing, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Great. We will do one more flow with some balancing poses, and then we'll pull down. So we'll start in our mountain pose. You can find your drishti, your focal point. Hands can be wherever you feel most stable. They can be a heart center, on your hips, wherever. And then start to bring your right knee in toward the chest. You can grab the front of the shin and pull it in. You can be near a wall if you want, honoring wherever your balance is today. And then we will come into our warrior 3. So you can release the leg and just start to kick so that your foot could stand on the wall behind you and naturally hinge at your hips so that your torso stays in line with your left leg. And again, remembering that inner thigh trick, if that is helpful to you. Feeling like your right inner thigh is coming toward the ceiling. Feeling the strength of your bottom leg, keeping that micro bend. Oh, perfect. Letting yourself wobble, just coming back. 3 breaths here. Feel the energy reach from the heel of your foot through the crown of your head, or the ball of your foot if you're pointing. And now as you exhale, bring your hands to the floor or to blocks, and we'll do standing split. So just keep that back leg lifting. And most important thing is to keep your back leg straight. So even if it's just an inch off the floor, as long as that leg is straight, it's fine. And you're feeling an intense stretch in your left hamstring. And those hips are staying squared. So you can keep remembering that cue of the inner thigh. And then we will start to get into the hips a bit more. So now what we'll do, you can take a break if you want, or if you want to keep going. You can just start to stack or bring your hand to a block or the floor in the front and to the left of your bottom foot. And then you start to stack your right hip on top of your left, coming into our half moon pose. So this is another thing where the pelvic floor is super important. So keep your pubic bone pulling up toward your hip points. And keep this, you should be able to see your toes, and your core should be really active here. It's a very difficult pose. Again, your hand can come to your hip, or it can come to the floor even. And just remembering to keep your lower belly really strong. This is like the hardest pose in the world. And then we'll slowly lower into your warrior 2. Because your hips are already there. Yeah. Great. So your warrior 2 legs. Just for a moment, feel this opening of your left hip. And then let's straighten out that front leg, turn your feet parallel, and fold into your wide leg forward fold. Let it go. We'll get to the other side in just a moment. Let's give ourselves a nice break. You can keep that slight bend in the knees. Let this focus a bit more on releasing rather than stretching deeper. Let your breath come back. One more exhale. And when you're ready, we'll slowly make your way back up to stand. You come off your hands with the legs, come up with a flat back, whatever works. And pause for just a moment. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Check back in. As you're ready, you can turn to face the front of your mat. And you can set up your block for you for where we know we're going. When you're ready, in your mountain pose, feeling sturdy, and then shifting more weight to the right side of your body, you can hug your left knee into the chest. Find a focal point, maybe be near a wall. Let your surroundings help you. Then once you feel ready to, you can start to come into Warrior 3. So almost as if you're moving through water. Slowly letting your back heel or back leg straighten. Reaching from the heel through the head. Keep your core tight. Keep your standing leg tight. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay. 3 more breaths here. One side is always going to be harder than the other. Usually my right side. And now you can slowly bring your hands to the floor or to blocks, and we'll come into a standing split for a few breaths. So we're still keeping the hips square for now. Feeling that inner thigh turn up toward the ceiling. Feeling a nice stretch down the right hamstring. Breathing a bit more, deepening the breath. And then you can always take a little break in between these, but if you'd like to transition right away, you can just bring your right hand to the floor and your left hand comes to your hip, and then roll your left hip on top of your right. You will probably fall, and that is okay. You can get back up. And just keep your pelvic region, again, super, super tight. You should be able to see your toes. Your inner thighs are reaching away from each other now. They're kind of like in a triangle pose, but just floating. Yeah, exactly, perfect. 2 more breaths. Let yourself shake. It is okay to shake. When you're ready, we'll slowly lower in Warrior 2. Just for a moment. And then you can straighten out that front leg, bring your feet parallel, and reach both of your arms high for a moment to this like star shape. Roll out the wrists, maybe shake the hips side to side. Just take up space. Feel how big you are. Let yourself take up space. And then when you're ready, as you exhale, lead with your heart and come all the way down. Your hands can rest on your ankles and release. Wide leg forward fold. So good. You can let the arms be wherever they're comfortable. Another option I like is to bring the palms of your hands to the floor, but through the legs. So you're kind of reaching, your fingertips are facing away from you. That makes sense, like that. Nice position. Let's take 5 more really conscious, really full exhales. And challenge yourself to let go of one more thing every exhale, whether that's an area that's tensing in the body, or whether that's a repeating thought that you've been having. Allow yourself to let it go. Just for now, trusting you can return to anything you'd like at any time. But for now, we're letting it go. As you are ready, you can really slowly begin to walk the hands up the legs, or maybe come up with your flat back, whatever feels best. We'll come up to stand and pause. Hand to the belly, hand to the heart, and feel. Feel where your breath is traveling. Feel the pulsing. When you're ready, you can turn to face the front of your mat. We'll move through one more vinyasa, and we'll meet in our child's pose. So you can come to down dog, and then lower, or go straight there when you're ready. Arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Move through your vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog, then child's pose, or straight to child's pose. If your focus is more on your spine today, your feet and knees can both be together. If your focus is more on your hips, and your feet can be together, knees as wide as your mat. Let yourself release fully. Release your forehead. Release your jaw. Release your hips. Release your inner thighs, your outer thighs. Release your stomach. Release the shoulders and the neck. Allow your body to melt into this posture and feel gravity as just a blanket over you. Allow your breath to slow down so much, it's almost not even there. You can gently begin to shake your head no, rocking the head side to side, massaging your forehead against the mat. And then when you're ready, you can stay here as long as you want. You can start to come up to his feet on your heels. Pause for a moment up here. Oh no, Mom. And then you can shift your weight to either side and bring your legs out long in front of you. Shake out the legs. And you grab the flesh of your sit bones and just pull it back slightly so that you feel both bones rooting down. And we'll just do our classic seated forward fold. So you can start with this active if you want to, with the spine straight and exhales you hinge, leading with your heart first. You can stretch like this, or you can let this be passive and release. Whatever is best for you. And take about 10 deep exhales here. Notice where this is loudest. Is it in your spine? Is it in your legs? Maybe your neck. See the shape that you're making with your body. from your heels, up the backs of your legs, through the tailbone, the lower, middle, upper back, through the neck and crown of the head. Feel how long the back of your body is. And then slowly begin to come back up to your seat. And bring your hands back behind you and just counter the spine for a moment. Lift your heart, lift your chin away from the sternum. Open up and breathe. You can slowly start to lower down to your back. If you want a bit of core work, you can keep your legs straight and the same, and then slowly roll your spine to the back, or you can just lower yourself gently down, whatever you want. When you arrive, release into the mat, just for a few breaths. We are going to come into a shoulder stand and plow pose, only if you want. If you don't want to, just raise up your hand. And I'll say no. So yeah, rising up, bringing the elbows closer to each other, walking your hands up the spine, letting your core be strong, letting your legs be strong. When you're ready, you can hinge at the hips and allow the toes to maybe tap the ground above your head. Maybe the hands interlace down the mat, bringing the shoulder blades a little bit closer together, or maybe they stay on the spine for support. Now feel the shape of your spine. See the shape from the heels of your feet through the crown of your head. Feel how long the back of your body is. And maybe playing around with the legs, you can widen them into a wide leg forward fold stance. You can bring the soles of the feet together so you're in like a butterfly in the air. Just have fun. And at any point, if you want to come out, just come out. Great. And once you have lowered and rested for a few moments, we should counter the spine again. So this time you can come into a fish pose, if that's okay with you. You can prop yourself up on your elbows so that the elbows come slightly under the shoulders. And then lift your chin and bring the top of your head toward the mat. If that's super uncomfortable, then you can always support yourself from a block. Great. And then to lower, start to bring your chin toward the chest and lower your spine back down to the mat. You can step the feet as wide as your mat or hug the knees into the chest. You can massage your lower back, your glutes. Do whatever feels good. We will do a twist on either side before our Shavasana. So whenever you're ready, you can allow the knees to come to the right, and you can have any expression with your legs. Your bottom leg can be straight, your knees can be stacked, your legs can be wrapped around each other. Wherever you are, just relaxing the muscles in the body, releasing the stomach, feeling the full power of this twist, not resisting anywhere. Wringing out the spine, massaging the organs, breathing. And gently come back to center and switch sides. Knees coming to the left. Again, every exhale, seeing what else you can let go. Letting go of holding in the outer hips, in the left shoulder, in the right shoulder, in the stomach, soft in the face. One more exhale. And gently guide your head and knees to center. Bring the hips back to center. Hug the knees toward the chest. When you're ready, if you'd like, you can reach the feet up toward the ceiling, the arms up toward the ceiling. And release the limbs into their sockets. And let the torso be pinned against the mat. Let the organs settle into their right places. Surrender fully. The entire length and width of your spine is flat on the mat. When you're ready, coming into happy baby, any version of this pose. Releasing into your Shavasana whenever you're ready. If there's anything else you want to do, maybe be in reclined round angle pose for some moments. Whatever your body's asking for, honoring that. Letting yourself release when your body's ready. I'll guide you through a brief chakra activation, and I'll let you rest in silence for a few moments before waking up. Let yourself feel settled in whatever position you're in. Fully release every muscle in your body, every ounce of holding, and allow yourself to be fully supported by the ground, trusting that you don't have to hold anything up. You are safe to let go. You're safe to release. Bring your attention to the base of your spine and envision a red light beginning to glow here. Even if you don't see it right away, just trusting that it's already there. Observing this area, feeling softness cascade from the base of your spine, down the legs and the feet. Repeat to yourself, I am safe, I am secure, I am grounded. Release any holding in the pelvic floor, in the lower belly. Bringing your attention to your sacral space, the lower belly and the sacrum. Maybe noticing an orangish light here. You're seeing your vision take on an orange hue. As you repeat to yourself, I am joyful, I am creative, I am worthy of pleasure. Attention rising up the body into the solar plexus, about 2 inches above the navel, that heartbeat in your belly. Noticing any color shifts in your internal vision. Maybe some yellow popping up. As you repeat to yourself, I am confident in who I am, and I am worthy of all good things. Attention rising up the body into the heart center. Notice any feelings or colors or visions. And repeat to yourself, I am compassionate and full of love. I have compassion with myself and others. And feel these feelings take over the body. Attention coming into the throat. Repeat to yourself, I am honest and truthful in my communications with myself first and others. As your attention moves up into the face, feel the jaw soften, the cheeks soften. And rest your attention in the center of your mind, above the nasal cavity and just beneath the crown of your head. Feeling this pulse expand to the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. You repeat to yourself, I trust my inner guide and my intuition. Attention coming up to our final chakra of crown. Feeling the very tip of your head as you repeat to yourself, I surrender to my highest self, and I trust my connection to source energy is clear. Feel the pulsing in the palms of your hands and each of your fingers, the soles of your feet and each of your toes. In your mind's eye now, see your entire body, the shape of your body on the floor where you are. And see the energy flowing freely up and down your body. All the chakras clear and activated. Spending time focusing on any areas of blocks. Just bringing your curiosity and attention there. For the next minute or so, laying in silence. always, if you want to stay longer, please feel free. If you're ready to seal this practice, you can allow my peace to guide you. Still seeing the shape of your body and all your chakras. Allow these to soak into you, soak into every cell of your being. Trusting that this is always here for you whenever you need. Trusting there's nothing else you need to do. Allowing air to enter the body again as you breathe in, feeling and seeing the air fill up every corner of your body from the toes to the fingers to the tip of your head. Maybe rocking the head side to side, the fingers, the toes wiggling, gently bringing movement into the body. You can take a nice morning stretch if you'd like, reaching the arms overhead and the body as long as possible, taking up as much space as possible. And as you're ready, curling into a fetal position on one side. Honoring this position for just a moment. And when you're ready, gently making your way up to your seat, meeting the hands at heart center. May this practice continue to heal you throughout the rest of your weekend into wonderful nights of sleep. And may you bring some of this love to everything that you do and to everyone that you see.